Hello, guys. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It has been a minute. It has been a minute. Losing cords and everything like that. It's lovely to see you guys. I'm glad you came to visit with me. As you guys have seen, I have started a new channel called Mind Over Tea. If you guys haven't subscribed to that, please do. I have a co-host, and we're also going to be talking about different relationships over there and celebrities and all those celebrities and the tea and what's going on in our everyday world. So if you guys are interested in that, please go there and subscribe also. And also thank you for the support over here. Now, I will tell you guys, I have been just trying to put myself together as I'm working, as I am multitasking, as you guys know. And we haven't had any poly talks in a good minute, so I'm trying to get us into that environment. Now I have also, if you guys do not know, I have done some interviews. One of them was with a gentleman named Taylor Made. So Taylor Made is a gentleman who I won't say he's a passport bro, but he definitely travels a lot, expat, does a lot of things like that. And so I like his content. You guys can go check him out. Um, he told has told me that he has been sending some people over. So if you're new from him, hello, how you doing? And so yes, if you guys wanted to have some conversations about being poly, this is where it starts. I definitely appreciate him recommending a lot of women over here because a lot of women here, men talk about being polygamous, and they don't really understand, or they don't really know if they want to understand what's going on. And so we want to give clarity and all that. And that's what my whole drive was, is to really giving clarity and giving explanations to what poly is, so that the normal people out here can then go about their lives in the know, because we don't want you to go under the assumption of things. Now, in this new world, which I believe is turning more and more poly every day, I think we're going to come to a point where mostly everything is going to look very polyish. We want to really give people the information so they can make an educated decision on whether they should get into poly relationships or not, and to be aware of things that aren't correct. And put my glasses on here. I want to give us a little bit of background here, because Lord knows, I don't have any music on here. I was changing my channel, like I just said, and so I want to be able to upload my music again because I took it off. So let me just put just a little bit of sound background. So for us, we'll just do some rain. I think that'll be pleasant, and then we can have our conversation. So it's not just dead silent in the back, and you might hear a child or two. Only God knows, what I'm saying? So I want to make sure you guys are getting all those great things. Sometimes I like listen to nature, but the hearing the nature is nice too. But just look at that, a little rain. Maybe she get some little rain, a little fireplace ambience. Get us some of that. That's a nice soothing noise. Okay, got some background noise. Hopefully it's not too loud for us. Okay, and we'll go from there. So what we're gonna do is get into this conversation. So let's take off these glasses again because I have that big glare. Okay, so if you guys are new, like I said, if you are coming over to check out my page, I appreciate it. Please subscribe. We have some content. Let's go into our general questions, because I think a lot of people don't realize that you just have like general questions that a lot of people ask. So for the most part, um, what is poly? Let's just do that basic one right there. Poly really is the understanding of more than one person that want to engage in a relationship at the same time with more than one person. Now, um, let's just go into the big one. I hate going into the big one, which is, what is the difference between a person who's just dating and a person who's actually poly? So that is a big question I get asked. Okay, so really the main difference is the intent. A lot of people don't think that matters, but it does matter. Um, if you are in the intent of having more than one partner, you're investing in those partners fully into a committed relationship. Now, listen, we're not going to open up the box. If you are one of those people who open up the box of solo poly, we're not going to do that today. We're not. Solo poly is poly, yes. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've said this on other videos. I do not like to claim poly, solo poly that often because solo poly looks so disorganized and chaotic. That also includes, if you don't know these words, that includes web poly. Um, it gets very massive, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not think a lot of people can manage it. A lot of people can't manage just regular poly relationships, let alone you're having multiple large groups of people and managing them in a proper way. I just don't think that is something that's a realistic thing that takes place on a highly functioning level. I'm gonna say that because I don't want to say that it's not able because I've seen some that are highly functioning and they work, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of stuff to go on, a lot of pieces. I don't see that as a regular 9 to 5 situation for regular people. It's just I just don't see it. It will get messy and sloppy, and that's where you'll have these people coming around saying poly's horrible because they're doing it in that fashion. So I will say no to that. Okay, so when it comes to the relationship that you're going to have, you need to find out what kind of poly you want to be in. I usually talk about, like I said, about the main three: polygamist, which is a man with multiple women; a polyandry woman, which is a woman with multiple men; polyamorous. Most people are going to fall in that polyamorous, build your own kind of poly. That's how I see it. Um, because you literally can be different kinds. So that one's a big, broad spectrum that a lot of people tend to set in because if you're not polygamous or polyandry, and you're dating multiple people, you will fall into the polyamorous category. Okay, now we have new words and terminology that come out obviously with this, which is wonderful and which is great. But at the end of the day, a lot of people get lost in the word soup. And I try to keep it really basic and reach as many people as possible because those big words and stuff just add to the confusion of people wanting poly anyway, and they're stressed out because they don't understand what poly is. So I definitely don't, want to add to the chaos and confusion. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add this real quick. So as you guys know, I have Instagram too, so I'm just gonna go live on Instagram also so that people can see me because I haven't really gone live in a minute here. I want to make sure I'm live on both. Okay, so if you are interested in being poly, a lot of people are like, well, where do you start? That's another question that comes up. I'm gonna let you guys, I do consultations to talk about how to start poly relationships, how to get yourself involved in a relationship with someone who's poly, how to check out poly events. Um, we can get you started. If you want to know how to be poly, you don't know where to start, you don't know who to ask, I can get you set up. Okay. Those are consultations. You can find me on Instagram, as you can see, or you can go on Facebook. I'm the leader of one of the groups there. If you would like a consultation, we can have conversations about poly things, and then we can kind of get you set up. And that goes for men or women, if you want that journey. And we can talk about details. Now, what comes with that also would be building your self up. I hear these things about women's self love or self love, and then we want to be able to build ourselves as a good person, but also knowing that, especially if you're someone who's been dating for a while, there's some degrees of, yeah, you have trauma, you want to work on those things, that's cool, but you also know to some degree you've had some positive impact with people, and so you want to also work on things like what you can give. So you say you self love, self love, that you're giving to yourself all the stuff no one gave you. but also you want to work on things you can give someone else. Want to work on how you can learn how to better interact, better communicate. So those things are also important on those journeys, and so we'll go through those steps also. Okay. Another poly question I'll get asked. I just want you guys also to know tonight I'll be on YouTube on eBlack's channel. And we're going to have a conversation also about all these wonderful poly things. And we're gonna have some guests on there who are poly, who also will share their experiences and their views on those things. So we want to uh, invite you to go over there and check that out. Um, but back to our conversation, yeah, about poly. Um, Basically, anyone who would like to have more than one partner at the same time, and they're thinking about those things. Hey, Sugar Mike, you want to also prepare yourself for bad things. Okay, I know it sounds. You want to prepare yourself for bad things because those things will happen. I mean, we always talk about hey, we're preparing for these good situations, but there will be times where things aren't always great, right? And I don't think anybody prepares for the not so great times. And so as a person who's transitioning from monogamy to poly, a lot of times that gets left out is the transition between your um, reaction to things. Like, I know I get triggered by this. Having that conversation with a partner prior to are things that we may do. Because in poly, we promote being more honest and open about things. So being honest and open, it will help you communicate. It will help you get to places. It won't solve all your problems. Poly is not a solve all your problems. Let me repeat that. Poly is not a solve all your problems. You cannot solve all your problems by becoming poly. That is a really bad translation of a lot of times where married people will say, hey, let's add someone to this, we'll make it fun. No, that sounds like there's something wrong here and I don't want to deal with it. So I rather just add a distraction, which never goes well. Let's don't do it. It never goes well. Let's just don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to fail miserably by trying to introduce someone into your relationship under the pretenses that they're going to solve your problems in your relationship when the issue really is that you need to evaluate the problem and then go through that process of fixing it. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost and confused about why didn't poly work for me and my wife. Well, you know what? That probably wasn't the problem. Or your problem was so big, poly didn't solve it. Poly help your partner find a way to leave. Help your partner find an easy way to get out of the relationship with you. These are ways to avoid the real issues and not face them. And so a lot of times when you hear people say like, oh, just get a new boyfriend or add another one, that's never the answer in this situation because it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't stop anything. You still have the same feelings. You still feel the same things. You can feel lonely being poly. People think that's weird. You can feel lonely because you miss your partner. You can, it doesn't matter. And I think that when people talk about being poly naturally, people who are more monogamous, I think that's where that comes from. You know, um, in this journey, I've tried to evaluate my feelings as a person, evaluate myself, and I am a very self aware person. I'm very aware of myself, and what I mean by that is I'm aware of myself, but it doesn't make me make better choices. Does that make sense? So I'm aware. I can be very aware I'm doing something, but it doesn't stop me from doing it. Like I'm very self-aware of what's going on, but it doesn't change everything all the time. It helps me see it, but it doesn't do anything necessarily all the time. And so we got to really be proactive on those things. So I think if you would want to get into this or you want to evaluate yourself as a person, um, getting into a better understanding of yourself and of others is a real big key to this because I think people always see how they're supposed to receive things, but never how they're supposed to give things. There's a lot of emphasis on receiving things, and even as a woman, we are always thought of how we receive things. The more things we receive, the higher value we are. The more things we receive, we are deemed more valuable. The less we receive, then that's the opposite. So, you know, that's another thing. And then men also are seen that way. In their mind is what I can give. But when a man can't give those physical attributes or those, those tangible things, does he feel worthless? A lot of men do. So we are in a different mindset in that space. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to be in that mind. And so sometimes conversations that I do have with people who are not in a natural poly mind, it is kind of difficult occasionally. So I understand that. Okay. Also, like I said, this is just a little conversation, a little quick poly review. We will be having some regular content. There's actually going to be a video tomorrow. I'm going to have played for tomorrow. We're gonna have a lovely topic, and we're gonna get these videos rolling out on my channel, and we're also gonna have one on Mind Over Tea. So I already get our schedule together and get those going for you guys. The lives, I will probably have less lives for right now until March 1st, where we're gonna really start spitting out everything. But I want to give you guys a little bit of sample of something right now. But I am heading over to the other show, like I said, on Eat Black's channel. We're gonna go over some more poly stuff. If you'd like to join, please do. The link is in my Instagram story. Um, and you guys see me just a bit having some great conversation and meet some people. And then go from there. Because our whole goal is to educate people about not only poly, but educate people about better relationships with each other, not only um, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but with your children, with your family, with your food, with your home. Uh, Having good relationships overall will make the quality of your life better. And I think we all underestimate that. Um, and we need to get back to that. So, further ado, I will let you guys get back to your evening. I will meet you over there soon. I'll get ready for that content. Like I said, Miss Polly Wright on YouTube. Subscribe and like our videos. And boom, boom, boom. We're going to also be over here on the Black channel. And I'm on Instagram. So I will see you guys in a little bit. You have a great evening and I appreciate you. Bye.